In the land of Ramathaim-Zophim, nestled among the rolling hills of Ephraim, lived a man named Elkanah. He was a devoted and honorable man, descended from a long line of Israelites. Elkanah had two wives, one named Hannah and the other Peninnah. Though Peninnah had given him many children, Hannah remained childless, a burden that weighed heavily on her soul. Each year, Elkanah would travel from his city to Shiloh to worship and sacrifice to the Lord of hosts. There, the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, served as priests of the Lord. Whenever Elkanah made an offering, he would give portions of the sacrifice to Peninnah and her sons and daughters. But to Hannah he gave a double portion because he loved her, even though the Lord had closed her womb. Hannah's rival, Peninnah, provoked her severely, making her miserable because she had no children. This happened year after year when they went up to the house of the Lord. Peninnah's words and actions would distress Hannah so much that she would weep and refuse to eat. Elkanah, seeing her sorrow, asked,
"Hannah, my beloved, why do you weep? Why do you not eat? And why is your heart grieved?"
"I am barren, Elkanah. I cannot give you the children you long for. I cannot bring you the joy of sons or daughters. I have prayed for so long, and yet nothing."
"Oh, Hannah, why don't you just pray a little harder? Perhaps you're..."
Enough! This is not the time for your bitterness. Hannah, don't I mean more to you than 10 sons?
After the meal in Shiloh, Hannah rose and went to the tabernacle, where Eli the priest sat by the doorpost. In deep anguish she wept and prayed to the Lord. She made a vow, saying,
"O Lord Almighty, if you will only look upon your servant's misery and remember me, and not forget your servant, but give her a son, then I will give him to the Lord for all the days of his life, and no razor will ever be used on his head."
As she continued praying, Eli observed her. Hannah was praying in her heart. Her lips moved, but her voice was silent. Thinking she was drunk, Eli rebuked her, saying, "How long will you be drunk? Put your wine away from you."
"No, my lord. I am not drunk. I am a woman who is deeply troubled, pouring out my soul to the Lord. Please, do not take your servant for a wicked woman. I have been praying out of the bitterness of my soul."
Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant your petition which you have asked of him.
"May your servant find favor in your sight."
She left, ate, and her sadness lifted. Early the next morning, they worshipped the Lord and returned home to Ramah. Elkanah knew his wife Hannah, and the Lord remembered her. In due time she conceived and bore a son.
"I shall call him Samuel, because I have asked for him from the Lord."
When Elkanah and his household went to offer the yearly sacrifice, Hannah chose not to go, saying,
"Not until I have weaned the child, I will take him, that he may appear before the Lord and remain there forever."
Do what seems best to you. Wait until you have weaned him. Only let the Lord establish his word.
So Hannah stayed and nursed Samuel until he was weaned. When the time came, she took him to the house of the Lord in Shiloh, bringing 3 bulls, an ephah of flour, and a skin of wine. Though the child was still young, she presented him to Eli, saying,
"O my Lord, as your soul lives, my Lord, I am the woman who stood by you here, praying to the Lord. For this child I prayed, and the Lord granted me my petition, which I asked of him. Therefore, I also have lent him to the Lord. As long as he lives, he shall be lent to the Lord."
And so Hannah remained faithful to her vow. She entrusted her son Samuel to serve in the temple, and he grew to become a prophet of Israel. Through her tears, her pain, and her unwavering faith, she placed her trust in God. In return, he honored her with the son she had long prayed for, and through him a remarkable story was written for Israel. Her prayer of sorrow transformed into a song of joy, and her faith became a shining beacon of hope.